basic electronics components we're gonna discuss in this session. So these are the list of the basic electronics components that you already know. Some of you have already studied in the first semester or a second semester, even as a part of your 11th and 12th, right? Like resistors, potentiometers, capacitors, diode, transistor, breadboard, we're gonna introduce to you. Multimeter, probably most of you knows, right? So basically, when you look at the electronics component as a title, you will see the two categories. One is the active and the second one is the passive, right? So here you can see one is the active and another one is the passive, right? So this is the active and this is the passive. So there are two categories of the electronics components. Now you may have a question, what comes in the passive? See, the passive components does not require any power supply. So for example, resistors, inductors, capacitors, transformers are example of passive components. Whereas when we talk about active, right, in order to start their action, in order to work for them, they need some trigger. So like transistor, vacuum tube, rectifiers, integrated circuits, display, detectors, logic gates, these all are the active components, right? Now in the passive components, again, there are two categories. Again, one is the lossy passive and the another one is the non-lossy passives, right? So when you say the lossy passives, it burns the power. So for example, it's a resistors. And when I say non-lossy passive, it does not burn the power. So like capacitors, inductors, right? Now here there is a note that you should look at. Diode can be passive or active, right? Diode could be a passive or a active component. Active when it has a negative resistance, otherwise it is a passive component. So this is what. So broadly you look at the electronics component, you can categorize into two parts. One is the active, another is the passive. I already said what comes in the passive, what come in the active components, right? Now look at active components, like those devices or components which required external source to their operation is called active components. For example, you need a battery. You need some minimum current to start working for them actually, right? So those are the active. Example is already we said diode, transistor, etc. Explanation and example. Diode is required an external source to its operation, because if we connect a diode in a circuit and then connect this circuit to the supply voltage, then diode will not conduct the current until, please understand, the supply voltage reach to 0.3 in case of germanium or 0.7 volt in case of silicon. You know what is germanium and what is silicon, right? That you know very well known conductor. So this is the minimum required voltage in order to operate or to trigger the operation of the diode. On the other side, when you look at the passive components, those devices or components which do not require external source to their operation is called passive components. Resistors, capacitors, inductors, right? Passive components do not require external source to their operation. We already said resistor does not require 0.3 or 0.7 volt. For example, it was the case with the diode. When we connect a resistor to the supply voltage, it starts work automatically without using a specific voltage. So it's not like that some minimum amount of voltage you need to provide in order to start an operation for the passive devices, right? So this is just broad categories that you need to keep in the mind. I think you already studied this resistor, right? Most of you must have remembered, those who studied in English medium, there has to be a sutra like B.B. Roy goes to Bombay via Gateway of India, and for the Gujarati medium student it used to be like Kokilano Palav Jara Safed hai, something like that, right? That's how you remembered the table. I hope you are listening to me, boys and girls. There is no concern on my voice, right? And there are two things I said about the table to calculate the value of resistance, right? One is the B.B. Roy goes to Bombay via Gateway of India, and another I said about Gujarati medium students. Okay, great. So resistor is a passive two electrical components that implements electrical resistance as a circuit element. Resistors are used to reduce current flow and at lower voltage level with circuit. Resistors are also used to adjust the signal level, divide voltage, terminate transmission lines. Value specified, what is the unit of the resistance? It could be ohm, kilo ohm, mega ohms, like that, right? And this diagram represents the resistance. You can see the resistance are always color coded, they have a different color, and I already spoke about the table that you remembered. So it could have a 3 color coding band, it could have a 4, it could have a 5 also, right? And each color band has a different meaning, right? So that we gonna understood. But the basic thing that you should understand is, for example, let's say I want to connect one of the specific device, let's say for example a sensor in a circuit, and there is a limitation that if I give a more current to that sensor will blow out. So what I need to do, I need to ensure that I'm not going beyond the current capacity, beyond the capability of that sensor current capacity handling, right? That means in that circuit, I need to put a specific resistor with a specific value, either in ohm or kilo ohms or mega ohms, right? And that's where this resistance will come into the picture in every IoT circuit that we gonna build, right? If you straight away connect the devices, sensors or actuators or any other device, it goes out of the world immediately. So we need to be very careful, right? So resistor is a so small device but very useful. It will control the currents, right? Or in other words, you can say that you can supply the you can limit the maximum current that pass through the specific component, electronics component or a sensor or any other device that you have in circuit, right? Let's deep dive into that little bit. Most of you have already remembered all these things, but still, just to make it more clear, let's say you have been given a resistor like this, right? And you have a value like this. So for example, let's say you have 4 band resistor. You have a 4 band resistor. 4 band are there on the resistor, and they have been color coded. And with a normal eyes, you are able to see the color code, right? So the first color is the red. Let's say first color is the red, band 1. Band 2 is violet. Band 3 is orange, and band 4 is gold. What we need to do is we need to look at this table. See, this is the table. I think you remembered. BB Roy goes to Bombay via Gateway of India, and that's how you remembered: black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, gray, and white. Right? This is you have remembered already. Right? So my first digit is red. So what I need to look at, when it is red, I have to pick up this 2 from here. First digit, 2 for red. Right? Similarly, second band, I have a violet, so I have to pick up the 7 from here, second band. I hope you are able to see. I have to pick up the 7. So 2, I have to write 2. I have to append 7 to the 2. So it became 20. Now it becomes 27. And then my third color was orange. So I have to look at the third digit. And as it is orange and it represents 3. So I have to multiply this 27 by 10 raised to 3. And you already know when I do 10 raised to 3, it's 1000. So what I'm getting is 27 cross 1000, and that is in ohm. So 27,000 ohm, or if you remove this 1000, it becomes 27 kilo ohms. And when you have fourth band, and let's say the fourth band is gold, so you can have a tolerance of 5% for a gold. If it is silver, it's going to be 10%. When we say tolerance, it is actually the kind of error that it may have and it can handle, right? So what you can have, when I have 5% of tolerance, my resistor value can be somewhere from 27k minus 5% to 27k plus 5%, 5% of that 27k, and so that would be the range you will get out of that resistor. So that's a tolerance, right? So I hope you are able to understand this calculation. Any doubt? Let me know. Any doubt in this calculation? Hello? No doubt, right? Okay, fine. Let me go ahead. So let's move forward. For example, let's say this is given to you. This is given to you, first band, right? And you have to calculate this value, right? And let's say we are not concerned about the fourth band. So the first band is the brown, the second band is the black, and the third band is the yellow, which is actually a multiplier. So when my first is brown, what I will take? First is brown, I will pick up 1. The second one is the black. What I will pick up from here? Yes, I wish each student to write in the chat window. What should I pick up from the black? From a second digit. I wish to see whether you are listening to me or not. You should write. What should I pick here? See, this is the first register that I have to calculate the resistance. So the first color is brown, so I have to pick the one from here. Second band is the black. So what number I have to pick here? And what I need to write after 1? Yes, good. 2 students have replied. So it's going to be 1 0. Very good. 1 0. So it's going to be 10. And the third color is the yellow. So when the third color is yellow, I have to multiply this 10 by 10 raised to 4. Very good. 10 needs to be multiplied by 10 raised to 4. And so when you multiply 10 by 10 raised to 4, what you are getting basically is 100 kilo ohm. Everybody is agree with me? You are getting 100 kilo ohm. Right? So if this is given to you somewhere in your examination or let's say your quiz, you should ever be in a position to calculate. But in order to calculate, you have to remember this. BB Roy goes to Bombay via Gateway of India. You should know this table. Right? If you know this table, you can always calculate. Fine. So 100 kilo ohm is fine. Now second example. Let's say it's a green, blue and brown. So for green, what number I will pick up for the first band? For a green, it's going to be 5. Right? For green, it's going to be 5. Then the second is blue. So for blue, what I am going to pick? It's 6. Right? So it's going to be 5, 6. And then last one is the brown. So when the last one is the brown, what I need to multiply? 10 raised to 1. So 10 raised to 1 is nothing but 10. So it's going to be 560 ohms. Very good. For a second, it's going to be 560 ohm. For a third one, anyone can tell? What is going to be for third one? Can you calculate? Right. It's a 180 kilo ohm. 180. Yes or no? Yes, it's a 180. Brown, gray, yellow. 180 kilo ohm. Right? Yes. I hope it's a typo error. You have to write 180. Yes. Good. 180 kilo ohm. Then I hope everybody is able to understand 1. See, for brown it's a 1. For gray it's 8. Right? And for yellow it's 10 raised to 4. So 18 cross 10 raised to 4. अरे भाई 18 गुणा 10 ની 4 घात. And that's how you are getting 180 kilo ohm. I hope everybody is following. Right? The last one, orange, white and black. So for orange, what value will come? 3. For white, what you will pick up? 9. So 39. And then for a black, it is 10 raised to 0. Anything raised to 0 is 1. So it's going to be 39 ohm. Is it? I hope I have made it very clear. So now you are able to calculate all these values. You can verify your answers. Right? If you wish, you can take the snapshot of this slide, and probably once this session get over, you can do all this recalculation in case of any doubt. Right? So now what you understood in this session till now is you are able to calculate the value of resistance. Now you can ask me a question. What is the importance of calculating this resistor in the resistance value in case of IoT subject? Right? See, we will study that when you make a circuit and when you have a component to use, from that component data sheet, you will come to know what could be the maximum current capacity of that specific component. And according to that, you can do the designing of the circuit. While designing the circuit, you can follow the Ohm's rule. And while following the Ohm's rule, you need to calculate the resistance required. right? And that is where this will fit into the IoT. So I hope I'm able to connect the dots now, right? And you are able to complete the story. Fine. So there is no doubt till now. Let me go ahead, guys. Registers are not polarized, and this is very good news. Registers are not polarized and may be installed in either direction. तो रजिस्टर में आपको ऐसा नहीं है कि पहला बैंड है जो लेफ्ट में लगाना है, लास्ट वाला बैंड है वो राइट में. इट कुड बी कनेक्टेड इन एनी डायरेक्शन. वेरी गुड न्यूज़, right? Registers are not generally responsible to ESD damage, so special precautions are not required. You can manage it, you can use it randomly. I mean, in any direction you can connect it. Mechanical stress due to lead bending should be minimized. अगर आपने रजिस्टर दिया है और आपने उसका लीड तोड़ दिया तो गया काम से, right? There is no way out. Another electronics component, I think most of you must have seen this diagram somewhere in your life. It is called a potentiometer. A potentiometer is an electrical component with a variable resistance. See, it's a variable resistance, right? They normally have their value marked with the maximum value in ohms, 3-digit code where the first 2 digits are significant, and this is what how it operates, right? So it is used as a volume knob in music system or a fan regulator. Every day you are using this potentiometer, right? Whether you have a home theater system where you have a regulator kind of things or a fan regulator, right? And when you are moving that regulators, actually what is working inside is the potentiometer. You are varying the resistance actually, right? So that's what you mean by a potentiometer. So if you have a requirement like this, you want to make a circuit like this, you can use this device, right? Another one is the capacitor, right? These all are the passive components that we are discussing. A capacitor is a passive electronic component that stores energy in the form of an electrostatic field. The capacitor is made of 2 closed conductors that are separated by a dielectric material. I am not going into the detail how capacitor is constructed, right? One plate of the capacitor is positively charged while the other has a negative charge, right? So the capacitance is measured of the amount of charge a capacitor can store. This is determined by the capacitor geometry and by the kind of determined between the plates, right? So the capacitance is directly here. The way for resistor it's supposed to be resistance. For capacitor it's going to be capacitance, is directly proportional to the surface area of the plate and is inversely proportional to the separation between the plates. Capacitance also depends on the dielectric constant of substance separating the plates, right? Capacitance is measured in microfarad or Faraday, right? There are some small units also, and right, capacitance it could be either polarized or it could be non-polarized. If it is polarized, you have to be careful. अगर polarized है और आपने उसको उल्टा supply दे दिया, believe me, it's going to do blast, right? What are the applications? Like you can use in the computer memory or electrical circuits used to minimize the voltage fluctuation. Very important. Flash bulb for a camera, right? So these are the different kind of capacitors you have available, right? Most capacitors are not polarized and may be installed in either direction. So if it is non-polarized, you can use it the way you are using resistors. Otherwise, you have to be careful, right? Another one is the diode, right? LED that we will come across when we start doing a practical in the second laboratory of the IoT. LED is the first diode that you will see, actually, light emitting diode, LED, and that LED has a 2 leg, right? एक बड़ा वाला होगा और एक छोटा वाला होगा, right? So always remember, बड़ा कौन बनेगा? Positive, and negative will remain small, right? So diode has 2 terminal. So one is the anode, you can think like this, and another one is the cathode. जो आपका big leg होगा, that's going to be positive, and the small leg is going to be the negative. So when you connect the LED into the circuit, you have to be very careful. If you make it ulta connection, believe me, that LED will not remain in the world, right? So a diode is a 2-terminal electronic component that conducts electric current in only one direction. Most diode made with semiconductor materials such as silicon, germanium or selenium. Some diode filled with a pure elemental gas at low pressure, right? Diode is considered as a passive since they do not contribute any amplification or gain to a circuit. Diode can be used to rectifiers, signal limiters, voltage regulator. Very important. Diode can be used as a voltage regulator. right? It can be used inside the switches also, right? So these are the few functionalities that you should understand. Semiconductor diode can be designed to produce direct current when visible light, IR or ultraviolet energy strike on them. These diodes are known as the photovoltaic cells, right? So LED is itself a family of diodes. So LED is an example of a diode, right? आप घर हमेशा बोलते हो घर में कि LED लाइट लानी है, ये लाना है. So basically it has a lot of small LEDs, right? Diode handling and installations. Diodes are polarized, very important. Diodes are polarized and must be installed with a correct orientation. ओरिएंटेशन का मतलब यहाँ एंगल नहीं है, प्लस माइनस आपको देखना है. मेनी डायोड्स आर modestly susceptible to ESD damage, so normal ESD precautions should be taken. Mechanical stress due to lead bending should be minimized. That is quite obvious, right? LED I have already spoke about. Light emitting diode is simply a diode that light up when current flows through one direction, right? So this is how your LED looks like. I have already said. You have a anode lead, you have a cathode lead, right? And let's move to the active components. I hope there is no concern over the voice or any other thing. I hope you understood the diode, right? LED, let's say LED has how many legs? LED has how many legs? Let's say this is the question. LED has how many legs? 3, right? LED has 3 legs. Very good. Hello. कहाँ चले गए? Right. Thank you, Disha, for your response. Only one student has replied. LED, very good, Spandan. Good. Only 2 students. Yukta, good. Fine. Great. Virpal Singh. Good. Then what about others? How many legs are there with the LED? Just write 2, 3, 4, जितना भी लिखना है. Okay. Right? Just type 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, जो भी लिखना है, 1000, 10,000. अरे दोस्तों, फिर से मैं बता दूं, जो लोग 3 बता रहे हैं उसके लिए मैं नाम नहीं लेने वाला हूँ. LED has 2 legs right now, right? In normal case, you may have a LED with 3 legs also, but that is not I have spoke about till now. So let us understand your LED has 2 legs, right? And one is the bada wala, another one is the chota wala, and the bada wala is the positive, and the smaller one is the negative. So that's how you need to understand, right? And they are polarized. So when you connect into the circuit, you have to be very careful. Very good. So let me go ahead. Now I am saying that there is an active components, right? And in active components, there is something called a transistor. Is a semiconductor device. The transistor is like an electronic switch. Please understand. It can turn a current on and off. A transistor is similar to a relay in the sense that you can use it to turn something on and off. For example, let's say I want to ensure कि एयर कंडीशनर जो हमारा है IoT से, सपोज IoT का एक सर्किट बना के हमने उसको अपने मोबाइल ऐप से कनेक्ट कर लिया है, and I can even switch on and switch off my air conditioner, let's say through the mobile phone. But I have to ensure that when my temperature goes below 26, I want to make it off. So at that point, to make that circuit, you can use the transistor. So transistor can be used as a switch. There are different types of transistor. A very common one is the bipolar junction transistor, that is called a BJT, and it usually looks like this. I think you have studied this in the 12th standard. It has a 3 terminal. One is the base, another one is the collector, and the third one is the emitter, right? And it comes in the 2 versions, NPN and PNP, right? And I think you have studied it in very detail, right? The current flowing from the base to emitter, current flows from base to emitter, opens the flow of current from the collector to the emitter, right? And so now if you look at this diagram, there is a 9 volt battery here, You can see battery has two terminal, plus and minus, 9-volt battery, right? Its negative terminal is connected to the ammeter and positive terminal is connected to the collector via resistor R1, and there is a L1 which is an LED. So battery connects to an LED, right, L1, and a resistor, but it connects through the transistor. This means that no current will flow in the part of the circuit until the transistor turns on, right? So we have a transistor in between. So until the transistor will not turn on, this LED, there is no current flow in this path, right? To turn the transistor on, you need to apply 0.7 volt from the base to ammeter, right? From base to ammeter of the transistor. When you apply 0.7 volt battery from, यहाँ पे आपको एक बैटरी रखना पड़ेगा like this, 0.7 volt from base to emitter of the transistor. When you apply 0.7 battery from base to emitter, the transistor turn on. This allow current to flow from collector to emitter and thereby turning the LED on. So this is how you can make this transistor on and off, and by that you are making this LED. But LED could be replaced by a refrigerator, it could be replaced by an air conditioner, with small modifications in the circuit, right? So that's how it can be helpful, right? And these are the different pictures of the transistor that you will see practically. It's a guideline for that, how when you handle it, you have to be very careful, right? And this is a picture which shows the lot of integrated circuits, right? This all represents the ICs. I think you must have heard that even the processor comes as an integrated circuit, right? And let's say you have a music system or some electronics device at house, and let's say it got damaged and you go for repairing. So probably that repairing fellow will tell you that we need to replace the IC. So basically that's what you mean by the integrated circuit, right? So there are different integrated circuits are there. It has a different number of pins and those things. I am not going in that much detail, but they are the fantastic electronics component available, and it has a lot of functionalities to provided by a single unit, right? So that's all about the ICs that you have. Now this is a very important diagram, the component that I'm showing you, which is a breadboard actually, right? Anyone knows what is the use of the breadboard actually? See, when we are making a circuit, friends, when we are making a circuit, actually initially when you are making a circuit and you are not sure, so initially when we used to make a circuit, we had only one option, which was called a printed circuit board, which is PCB, right? I'm not talking about the PCB of your an operating system. In the operating system, you have studied PCB as a process control block. Here we are talking about PCB as a printed circuit board, which was of a green color board, and you need a soldering iron and you need to fix the electronic component on that. Now let us assume that you are doing some experiment and you are building a circuit. So at a first go, if you try to use the printed circuit board, there are chances that you might make a mistake in soldering the components into the PCB. So again, you need to do desoldering, and then it's a very cumbersome. I mean, it's a very boring work actually, right? And practically you don't like to do that. You would not like to do it. So what is the best solution? Best solution is you have a component available called a breadboard. Breadboard will allow you to make the temporary circuit without doing a soldering. That is the objective, right? So it has a rows and columns like this. You can see in this diagram. So now these rows are internally connected. That means whatever the component I connect here, you can see the red light. It has a connectivity here, it has a connectivity here, it has a connectivity here. So if I want to connect the 5 components in series, I can put it here. Similarly, this line are shorted like this. So for example, let's say I'm looking at plus 5 volt. Then I will give a plus 5 volt from some board, for example Raspberry Pi board or Arduino board here. Then I will get the plus 5 volt in all this terminal because they are shorted internally, connected internally. And I can also extend the ground by just giving ground here. I will get the ground signal from all these holes, all these pins, right? I hope you are getting. So what breadboard will do is it allow you to make the circuit for a temporary purpose, to check your connection is working or not, your circuit is working or not, and later on you can always migrate to the PCB. So rows and columns of the holes are internally connected to make the connection easy. Wires run from breadboard to the IO pins on the Arduino board or a Raspberry Pi or any IoT device that you can work around, right? So friend, this is what you mean by the breadboard, very important component, right? Multimeter, see the name suggests multimeters. So what you can do is you can measure the voltage, you can measure the resistance. अगर आपको table पसंद नहीं है, you can use this multimeter to see the value of the resistance, right? So a multimeter is an electronics device that is used to make various electrical measurements such as AC and DC voltage, AC and DC current, and resistance. It is called multimeter because it combines the functions of voltmeter, ammeter, and ohm meter, right? Multimeter may also have other functions such as diode test, continuity test. दो सर्किट के बीच में, दो वायर के बीच में ठीक वायर है कि नहीं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, you are using a jumper wire and let's say that jumper wire you have doubt whether it's correct or not. You can check by this multimeter, right? You can do transistor test, you can do TTL logic test and frequency test also, right? So this is what you mean by the multimeter. These are the different parts. I think most of you have play around the multimeter. Let me switch to the Ohm's law. Any doubt till now? Okay, fine. My speed is okay, right? Fine, great. So I'm not going very fast. Fine. So let me resume again. Most of you have heard the Ohm's law, right? So let's say, what is the Ohm's law? It's basically V is equal to IR. V is equal to IR. V એટલે અમે આપણે ગુજરાતીવાળા, you know, કે WE બહુ યુઝ ન કરવું, I યુઝ ન કરવું, V કરવું. એટલે that's what we say, you know, V is equal to IR. Yes or no? V is equal to IR. Voltage is equal to current into the resistance. Once you remember this formula, V is equal to IR, you can calculate any quantity, whether you want to calculate I or whether you want to calculate R. You can do any calculation, right? So for example, if I say current I is equal to voltage upon R, right? So as I said earlier, friends, let's say there is a specific device that I want to connect into my IoT circuit, or I am making, let's say, some IoT project, and I know that the maximum current that this device will take is, let's say, X. Then what I can do is current I is equal to voltage upon R, and because I know the I could not be larger than X, I can always find out the value of resistance, and according to that I will make the circuit, right? So this is what you mean by the Ohm's law. So you know, this is the formula that you should remember. By knowing any two values of the voltage, current, or resistance quantities, we can use the Ohm's law to find the third missing value. That's I already said, right? Very useful. You already know the usage. V is equal to IR, I is equal to V upon R, and R is equal to V upon I. So you can apply in any way, right? This is a very important thing that you should know. Voltage V is defined as the amount of potential energy in a circuit. Current, the rate of change of flow in a circuit, right? Opposition to the charge flow in a circuit. So let's say current is flowing in a circuit or a wire, and you want to push that current back. You want to stop that current. The component that you are using is the resistance, right? Look at this diagram actually. See, you have a, let's say, water pipe, right? And your water flow is very high. Water is coming in high quantity, right? You can see high current. And let's say water is coming in a small quantity. For example, ये जो knob है उसको मैं थोड़ा बंद कर दूँ, आधा बंद कर दूँ, या 75% बंद कर दूँ, तो ये जो drops है वो धीरे धीरे आएंगे, right? The flow of water gets slower, and so I have a low current. So basically, if you want to make the high current or you want to make it low current, probably resistor could be a useful entity that could be play a role of this, you know, knob actually, right? Potentiometer, for example, we are using here, right, to make it high current or a low current. So that's how you need to understand. And this is your voltage analogy that you can understand, right? So let's say you have a more energy, that is higher voltage, right? And you can see here you have a low energy, so less energy, lower voltage, right? So it depends, right? V, and the V is equal to I into R. So if you increase the current, voltage is going to increase. If my resistance is constant, if I increase the current, my voltage is going to increase. If I reduce the current, my voltage is going to be reduced. Hello? Right? Okay, great. Great, thank you. So, this is, we already understood, right? Now, let's say you have a big pipe. For example, big pipe. That means current is coming more. Hello, current is coming more. That means my resistance is small. My resistance is small. If I make the pipe narrow, अरे ये 3 इंच का पाइप है, यहाँ पे मैं 1 इंच का पाइप लगा देता हूँ, तो जो मेरा पानी का जो फ्लो है वो आना कम हो जाएगा कि नहीं? पानी आएगा लेकिन कम फ्लो से आएगा ना. So my resistance becomes higher, right, which will reduce my current. So because I is equal to V upon R, if you reduce the resistance, your current get increased. If you increase your resistance, your current get reduced. Hello? Yes. Very important calculation that you should look into. This is the last slide for today, boys and girls. Be careful here. In this circuit, the question that has been asked to you is, we can use the Ohm's law in the exact same way to determine the resistor value that will give us the desired current value. For example, you have LED to get connected with the 9 volt battery, and it has been given in the data sheet of the LED that it can carry the current which has to be less than 20 milliampere. That means if I put a current higher than 20 milliampere, this LED will go out of the world, and I don't want that. I wish to keep it for a long time, right? So what I need to do is, I need to apply this formula in order to calculate the value of the resistor, V upon I. So my V was 9 volt. My current capacity was given me was less than 20 milliampere. So less than 20 milliampere could be a 19 milliampere, it could be 18 milliampere. So let's say for to make a calculation easy, we have decided that it should not increase to the 18 milliampere. So when I say 18 milliampere, it's going to be 18 cross 10 raised to minus 3 ampere. Hello, 18 milliampere, yani ki 18 cross, because it was a milliampere, right? So 18 cross 10 raised to minus 3. When you do that 18 cross 10 raised to minus 3, this 10 raised to minus 3 goes up, so it becomes 9,000, and here you have an 18. So if you divide 9,000 by 18, what you will get is the 500 ohm. So you are able to calculate the value of resistor, which will give you the 500 ohm. And according to this 500 ohm resistor, what should be the color code? Can you tell me the color code of this resistor? 500 ohm का resistor चाहिए, तो पहला बैंड कौन सा होना चाहिए? BB रो goes to, तो पहला कलर कौन सा होना चाहिए? Can you tell me the color code for a 500 ohm resistor? Can you tell me the color code for a 500 ohm resistor? To make your task easy, if you do Google search, there is an online website available which will do the calculation of the resistance. There is a resistance calculator available. You can do Google search. Yes, good. First color is green. Second color is, first color is green. Second is, okay. Second is brown. Brown or black, right? So the first one is the green 5, then the second one is the black, right? So and then I need to multiply it by 10. 50 needs to multiply by 10, so the third one has to be brown. So green, black and brown. That means in this circuit you have to connect the resistor so that it has this green, black and brown color. So that is how you are able to decide. See, this is how you are able to make the circuit. I hope you got the objective of the today's session. This is the purpose why we look at all this stuff, basic stuff, so that you can do this calculation and you can understand.